Well, good morning. It's great to be here, and I want to say thank you to the ABC store for again allowing us to use their parking lot for this event. You know, I love these events because there's nothing better than celebrating the completion of a project, and particularly when it's a project that we think is really going to make a big difference in a community and a region. And I think this project will be a very big difference. And for those of you who are all too familiar with the headaches that have existed here for decades because of the bottlenecks, I think you'll agree with me when I say it's a difference maker. It's going to make a difference for the businesses that operate here in this corridor now, and we hope it's going to be attractive for this part of Wichita, and it's going to bring new businesses in now that the access issues have been addressed. I have to say, for me, it's very hard to believe that it was just 2 years ago when we were standing here just at the beginning of the project. Now, for those of you who do businesses along the roadway or drive it every day, it may very well seem like it's been far more than 2 years, but for me, it's like, wow, that went fast. But it's nice to be back, and it's nice to have an opportunity to come down today and to see this beautiful project, and to me, it is definitely beautiful. And I hope that for everybody who had to put up with the construction, because, you know, none of us, even people in the construction business, don't like driving through construction. But we hope as you see the benefits, get the great efficient flow of traffic, the inconveniences will fade into the past and will all seem worth it. I'm sure most of you are aware we were able to do this project because of the 2009 American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. Because the intent of that act was to get Americans working and working quickly, we had to have projects that were shovel-ready, and we had to move very quickly. While we had this project in our development pipeline and it was very far along, we certainly had to still accelerate the design process to make sure we could meet all of those deadlines. And just having to move so quickly definitely posed some challenges, including the relocation of utilities and the purchasing of right-of-way. As one oftentimes does, we had unforeseen issues that complicated utility relocation, and they required a lot of on-the-ground adjustments. But we had big help from the city, and they got us through all of those challenges. And Mayor Brewer, I can't tell you how important it was that the city stepped up and was a major player and partner on this project. One of the keys to any successful project is a solid partnership, and the relationship we have at KDOT with the City of Wichita certainly helped assure that we would be here today celebrating this project. So I want to thank you, Mayor, and your whole team, and I'd like to ask you to come say a few words.
Well, first of all, let me say good morning to everyone. And thank you for allowing us to come out to celebrate this important moment in Wichita's transportation history. But also let me also say that this isn't the first time that you have made history here on 47th Street, because I think for the last decade, 47th Street was probably the first traffic jam we've had in the city of Wichita, and lasted that entire time. So you have history there also. So today we're honored to be able to celebrate what's going on and what's happening here today. I do apologize for the wind, but I take full responsibility for it, because I talked to Commissioner Norton, and he told me that on 57th Street the wind isn't blowing and the sun is shining. It's perfect, and I didn't call him and have him to help us out and to stop that. So I'll make sure that I correct that the next time. You know, on behalf of the Wichita City Council and the 380,000 residents of this community, welcome to the official ribbon cutting of the improvements of 47th Street Interchange. I'd like to take an opportunity to acknowledge some of our dignitaries that we have with us today. We have the council member representing this particular area. We have Councilmember James Glendenin. Thank you for allowing us to be here in your home. And we have Councilmember Longwell. Please raise your hand. Councilwoman Miller and Councilman Meitzner. And we have county commissioners that are with us, have joined us today. We have County Commissioner Tim Norton and County Commissioner Jim Skelton, former council member of the Wichita City Council also. We have state representatives Geraldine Flaherty, Phil Hermanson, and Joanne Potoff. We also thank you for joining us today. Today is a very important moment in our community. Today, we officially observe the completion of one of our most important transportation projects. The improvements that have been made to Interstate 135 and 47th Street will solve a lot of our old problems and create a lot of new opportunities. The daily traffic jams that have plagued this area for years have been eliminated. The dangers of traffic accidents and a deteriorating bridge have been reduced. The opportunities for economic development have been enhanced, and our entire city and surrounding region will benefit from the improvements. On August of 2009, we broke ground for this project, and we voiced our hopes that it would help our community recover from double-digit unemployment. We still haven't experienced the recovery that we had hoped for, but we now know that this project has certainly helped to ease the pain. This project created hundreds of new construction jobs, and we expect many more jobs will result from the economic development that will follow. We also need to acknowledge the partnership between the federal, the state, and local governments. It stands as a model of cooperation, something that our leaders in Washington, D.C. could learn a lot from. As Congress considers the reauthorization of the Federal Transportation Program, we need to raise our collective voices to our federal leaders. Constructive compromise results in progressive communities that create successful outcomes like the 47th Street project. Our transportation system is the foundation of our economy. Without a solid integrated transportation system, we wouldn't be able to generate the jobs that are essential to the quality of life for our community. At the local level, we stand ready to join hands with our state and federal partners. Working together, we can create the best transportation system in the country. Again, thanks again for joining us today, and thanks to our federal and state partners who help make this project possible. Thank you so very much, and thank you to our representatives in Topeka that supported us in this effort. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Brewer. As all of you know, getting through this part of Wichita was a rush hour nightmare for decades, and the mayor certainly referenced that as well. There were two one-lane ramps from I-135 to 47th Street, and traffic would back up for a half a mile or more, and of course that meant traffic was backing up onto the driving lanes of both I-135 and I-235. It is very scary to look in your rearview mirror and see 60-mile-per-hour traffic bearing down on you. Well, now that ramp, we used it this morning, has 4 turning lanes, 2 going east and 2 going west. In addition, the intersection of 47th and Broadway has 2 protected turn lanes for each direction. As a result, traffic should clear the intersection quickly, and the movement of traffic shall be more efficient than ever. That's good news not only to commuters, but I'm sure it's good news to the businesses that are here now and businesses who may be attracted to the area in times to come. And one of the people who knows just how important these improvements are to businesses is our next speaker, Dale Carter, who owns a McDonald's next door and is president of the South Wichita Business Association. Dale, I'd like to ask you to come up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. And I do, in fact, represent one of the legs of the stool. In McDonald land, we talk about the stool holds up by 3 legs: businesses, residents, and our local politicians and state and federal politicians that kind of keep this whole thing put together. I would tell you that as a business person in this area, this was a very, very painful project, as you can well imagine. I can tell you that while we were all excited when this project started, none of us as business people were quite prepared for the scope, the extent, the numbers of barrels and closed streets, you know, and all of that. And the South Wichita Business Association was really formed out of that need to kind of figure out what was going on. This project, well, I said it was painful. It could have been much more painful without the cooperation shown to us by KDOT and the support of the folks both at the county level, the city level, and the local level to work together to mitigate these circumstances as much as we could. I want to give special recognition to Commissioner Tim Norton. He has been a visionary in the South Wichita area for very many years. And I truly believe that without his tireless effort and ongoing effort on behalf of the south side of Wichita, this project may not be here. This project may have not come to fruition. So, Mr. Norton, thank you so much. We appreciate you very much. As we move forward, I guess the way I like to think about this is as this project. It cannot be the capstone of what we do in the South Wichita area. It has to be just the cornerstone of what we do in the Wichita area. We need to move forward from this. This certainly has given us a gateway both to the state and to the county and to all of Wichita into the South Wichita area. But it's only just the beginning. Another Ray Krocism, who was the founder of McDonald's, you know, what he said a lot of times was, "None of us is as good as all of us." And it will take all of us working together, business, our residents, the state, county, etc. We have a lot more stuff that is yet on our plate and a lot more to do. So thank you so much. This is a beautiful project. It's the beginning. We look forward to many more celebrations in the future. Thank you.
Dale, thank you very much. We really appreciate your comments, your patience, and we do know that these projects are very hard on businesses and people who use them every day, and we really appreciate the patience. Now, before we cut the ribbon to officially open the project, I want to say a little bit more about the importance of the project and the other recovery projects that we've been completed or are in the final stages of being completed. You know, before the Recovery Act was passed, which sent nearly $380 million to Kansas, we simply could not have funded this project or the many other major projects that we were able to fund. This was at the same time that we were receiving some of the best bids we've ever gotten, and so we were so thankful to have the opportunity to get really good work done and to get it done at such great prices. This not only allowed the state to make key infrastructure improvements like this one at the best prices possible, but it provided jobs during construction, and it sets up this area of Wichita for development and expansion into the future. On an average day during the past 2 years, there have been 45 people doing construction jobs. At their peak, we had 65 people a day working on the project, and there were more than 35 companies who got some kind of work from this project. So without question, certainly during the construction, it had an impact. You know, since we started this project, the Kansas legislature passed a 10-year transportation program, and I can't tell you how pleased I am about that. Yesterday, we had a press conference in Topeka. I announced hundreds of projects, including dozens for Sedgwick County, that have been scheduled for the next 2 years. There's no question in my mind that Kansas is going to benefit from these projects, and that what will follow is not only immediate jobs, but also long-term economic growth that comes with improved infrastructure, but also, more importantly, enhanced safety for all of our users. You know, the mayor did a great job noting the importance of partnerships in these projects, and I want to follow up on this because we simply don't have successful projects when we don't have strong partnerships, and I want to recognize the many people who made this project possible. First, let me call out Donlinger and Sons, the construction company. Thank you all so much. You did a great job. You met the many challenges of this project. And you gave us a very good bid, and the taxpayers of Kansas, I'm sure, would say thank you if they appreciated how good that bid was. Mayor Brewer, I've said it once, but I want to say it again. The City of Wichita, the City Council, your staff, have just been great, and I so appreciate the support of the City of Wichita and that so many members of the council are here today. Thank you all for coming. And a big thanks to Sedgwick County. Sedgwick County contributed $500,000 to the right-of-way, and I want to say also, Commissioner Tim Norton, you really were up at the plate throughout this entire process. Thank you for being so instrumental in terms of working with the businesses and working with KDOT. And of course, we need to recognize Commissioner Jim Skelton, who was on the City Council when this project started and has been one of the biggest proponents of the project right from the beginning. We work closely with our good friends at the Federal Highway Administration under the direction of Kansas Division Administrator Mike Bowen. Mike, if you could raise your hand. You know, getting these Recovery Act projects out the door was very challenging, and it was challenging for Federal Highway, but at every step of the way, Mike made sure that Federal Highway was there to help us get our work done, not to hold up our work. And a really big thank you to KDOT staff. Benny Traverity is our Metro engineer. The project leader on this was Earl Bartlett. And Earl, I have been told that your work on this project has made you a legend around here, and thankfully, a legend in a good way. And the biggest thanks of all has to go out to the commuters and the businesses who suffered through the construction, because we do know that it is challenging as you go through that construction. So now, let's get that ribbon cut, and I'd like to invite Commissioners Norton and Skelton, Mike Bowen, Mark Weisner of Donlinger, and Earl Bartlett to join us on the stage and to cut this ribbon.